I don't know how to curl my hair, so every time I curl it, I end up looking like a crazy person. But like, I think I can look a little off since I'm wearing like a grandma shirt. This camera makes my skin look quite nice. I decided to make another video. It's been 3 weeks since I last uploaded. 2 weeks? 3 weeks. Maybe 3 weeks by the time this video actually comes out, but 2 weeks from the time I'm filming this. But 3 weeks from last time yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while. I don't have a plan for this video. I decided that I would be talking about a couple of the books I've been reading, give some like critiques maybe. I haven't planned anything else, so this really isn't gonna be as what's the word, credible, I guess, of a source for actual criticism, because I'm just thinking about this in my head, because you know, I didn't bother for anything else. And of course I'm gonna do this while I get ready because efficiency. Remember how I made an entire video talking about how shit Six of Crow was and how I did not like it? I bought the sequel. I bought I bought the second book to the book I said that was bad. Actually, I didn't even think it was that bad. I thought it was like fine, but I thought it was bad for like a book. And for the second book, I thought it wasn't bad. I actually think I enjoyed it quite a bit. I think, I'm not sure, but I think I did. It's been a while since I read it. I finished it like a week ago and my memory's already deteriorating. Why is it every time I film, this dog finds its way to be loud and annoying? I bought Crooked Kingdom and I read it and I didn't think it was that bad actually. I actually enjoyed it, to be honest. I liked Crooked Kingdom, I think. I actually think I liked Six of Crows too. I mean, as I said that in the video, I think, that I enjoyed it, but I had a lot of problems with it. Well, Crooked Kingdom fixed some of those problems, like my problem with the issue with Wyland and Jesper's like romantic relationship and how it was kind of like queerbaity. They fixed that. I mean, because yeah, they're in a relationship, like an actual fucking relationship in the second book, which is great. I like their relationship. Okay, so I'll just say honestly that I thought it was meh. I mean, the relationship wasn't as good as Matthias or Inez. Matthias and what's her name? Matthias and Nina's, or Ine and Cass's. I thought it wasn't as well developed because it wasn't. They're both Violet and Jesper kind of like not that interesting characters. Like, I'm sorry, but they're really not. Like, Violet had the potential to be interesting, and Jesper was boring from the beginning. But he did, however, get an upgrade in the second book, so that's something I will admit. He did get an upgrade, yeah. But they're both relatively boring characters and relatively less important characters than the other two couples on this in this book. So the relationship wasn't that interesting, and I thought it was fine. It was like decent. It makes me sad that they're the only one who like actually are like canonically together by the end, and it's like really depressing. So makes me a little bit disappointed, not gonna lie. Honestly, that I really liked Kue, and I liked the little love triangle. That was interesting, and I was like, oh, that's funny. Like, I don't know, I thought it was kind of cute. I like Kue's character. He actually got like character, like personality near like the middle end of the second book, which was pretty great, because I was like, because he's actually kind of funny. Like, I think he was like, to me, he was like the funniest character, because he was like kind of like just doesn't give a shit the entire time, but then also like kind of cute. Like, he just seems adorable. I liked him a lot, and that was like probably one of the best things about the second book, is that they developed Kue. Maybe I'm exaggerating, but like, yeah, it was like a pretty good thing that they developed him, and I liked Ine's character development. I think she was more like determined to get Kaz's approval and stuff, and it really made it interesting, like interesting development for her and Kaz's relationship, and I thought that was really nicely done, where like she doesn't know whether or not he actually values her, and I thought that was cute. Once again, I didn't really enjoy the plot, but to be honest, that's not really a criticism, because I don't enjoy like heist plots in general. I like the characters, which is why I kind of continued reading it, but for me, like, the heist plots are just not as good. I like that Leigh Bordeaux's the author's name? I think it's Leigh Bordeaux. Well, she included Jesper's dad into the entire thing, which made him a lot more interesting, Jesper a lot more interesting, and I thought that part was cool. I liked it. she kind of like put Nina and Matthias to like the back burner though, because like for the first half, right, when Nina's dealing with her withdrawal, there's a lot of scenes with Nina and Matthias, but then after like about the halfway point, there isn't that many scenes with them anymore, and they don't get that much time together, which is really sad since he dies, and that just makes me really depressed. But it just made me sad because they were the most interesting part of the last book, Six of Crows, for me, and they weren't even that big of a part of this Wicked Kingdom. I think like Kaz, Ine, and Jasper were like the main characters of like the second book, which makes me sad because Spy isn't even my favorite. So, and I still don't like Kaz. I don't know why people like him so much. He's a fucking like, he sounds so annoying to me. Like I want to strangle him the entire time. Anyways, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all I had for Six of Crows. Yeah, I like Ine better in this second book, and I was informed that like her name is Inej, so, but I'm gonna keep pronouncing Ine because I'm just used to pronouncing it by now. I'm so sorry if people are like, oh, it's pronounced Inej, no, fuck off. I'm pronouncing it Ine because I don't believe they should pronounce the J. So. Now, the second book that I read is called Midnight in the Library. Now, I read a lot of books over the March break, so I'm just going to talk about all of them. I'm going to say a lot, I'm like 3. The second book I read is Midnight Library, and that book was such a disappointment. I'm not mad, just disappointed by it. I read the synopsis for it on, I think, Goodreads, and I was like, oh, this sounds interesting. Like, I liked the premise, which is like, oh, if you die, then you get to go to like this library where you get to choose from all these lives that could have happened for you but didn't, and you get to choose a new life that you want to live. It's cool. It's a cool premise, and I thought it would be an interesting book about like death, mortality, and like have some interesting philosophy, but no, it was just a fucking self-help book disguised as fiction. It was so disappointing. Like, I read reviews for it and people said it was disappointing, but I didn't listen because I was like, how bad can it really be? But no, it was very bad. The main character, Nora, is depressed, and well, I want to say that the portrayal of depression is a little bit just, it feels like they're trivializing depression. You just be like, oh, you're having a bad time. Like, basically Nora is depressed because she lost her job, she lost her cat, she doesn't have a husband, her brother hates her because she didn't join a band that he created and he wanted to be a rock star. It's a very complicated thing and it's kind of stupid. She tries to kill herself. She goes to the Midnight Library and the librarian tells her that she can choose a life from all these ones, and if she's not disappointed in that specific life, then she will continue to live in it as if she was like the main person. So Nora visits all these lives and basically she becomes disappointed in all of them, essentially. And it's really annoying because she visits all these lives where she has like money and like wealth, and then she gets disappointed by like the smallest things. Like, I remember there's this one, she gets disappointed when she has depression in a life, when that's just like, what? Like, I don't, like, it just seems like so like stupid and kind of insulting, where it's like, oh, if you have depression, that life is not fucking worth living, which is like really gross, I think. Because she, in one of her lives, she's like an Olympic swimmer, but then she realizes that she has depression in her life, and that she's tried to kill herself before, and she becomes kind of disappointed in her life. And she's also disappointed because her brother doesn't have the best relationship with her, but he already doesn't have the best relationship with her in her root life, her life where she like came from. But then she's so disappointed by the fact that she like isn't the happiest person ever in this world where she's the Olympic swimmer, that she is so disappointed that she just goes back into the Midnight Library. Because if she's disappointed in life, she goes back in the Midnight Library. That's like one of the mechanics. Which is just like, it makes her seem so bratty and privileged, where it's like, oh, can't like anything be enough for you? Like, she has to have the perfect fucking life, or else she just isn't satisfied, and it makes her seem really bratty. I know she's supposed to be like kind of relatable, but she's really not, and she has no personality. And also they never explain how, oh, if you stay in the life and you insert yourself in a life that you're not from, what happens to the other one of you? What happens to the other self that was originally in that life? Do they vanish? Do they go into the Midnight Library? But they never died, so what happens to them? Do you replace them? Do you become as one to them? Or does your consciousness, or are those lives never happen at all? It's just your consciousness transferring from one possibly to another. Never explain that, and it's very important. And it's also, it wouldn't be this important if they didn't fucking actually try to explain this entire thing with quantum physics. Like, this could have all been avoided if they just used a soft, like, magic system. If it was because of magic or something, I would have not have been nitpicky about the fucking, like, system of it. But they tried using quantum mechanics to explain it, and they actually said that. They're like, oh, because of quantum mechanics, this thing where we can transfer our consciousness to other lives, because there are multiple parallel lives happening at the same time, so there's multiples of you. But then what happens to the you if you transfer to another life? What happens to them? Do they go into your root life? That doesn't really make sense, because that's not really fair. So then what actually happens? They never explain that. It like makes me angry, right? Because if you're going to explain something with quantum mechanics, do it properly. Like, don't just give up fucking halfway. Yeah, this book made me really angry. And also, one of her lives is just funny. She's like a Arctic explorer, a glaciologist. I'm pretty sure that's what she is. And then she basically she's having a good time in this life, right? Because she's like really excited by everything. She's not very disappointed and stuff. And she's working to like help combat climate change. But then she becomes disappointed when she has bad sex with one person. Literally. Like, that's why she drifts out of that life, because she is disappointed in sex. That's it. It just makes the main character seem so unlikable, because it's like, wow, she's disappointed by like literally the smallest thing. No wonder she fucking hates her life. Like, why is she so disappointed? Like, it's not even like that big of a deal. And then she's like, oh, it just makes me so angry. Like, some of them disappointments do make sense, where like one of them, her friend dies in it and she doesn't like that. Obviously, if your friend dies, I don't think it's a very good thing. And another one, her brother's dead, which does make sense too. But some of them are just really stupid. And then in the last life that she ever goes into, she has like the perfect life, right? And she loves it and she doesn't want to leave, but she's disappointed because she didn't earn the things she had in that life. Like, she loves the life and she's like, wow, this is amazing. I have a husband and a daughter and they're amazing. But she's disappointed that she isn't the person who her husband fell in love with. She's in the person who gave birth to her daughter. And she's upset by that. And it's just really, really, really stupid. And I fucking hate the main character. And I guess by the description you can probably understand what the ending is. She goes back to her root life, and there's some soppy, happy ending about her doing good and stuff with her fucking debilitating depression in her root life. And then literally there's this one line where it's like, oh, I know sometimes I'll be very depressed, but I'll just deal with it. Like, by all means, her root life is shitty. She doesn't have a job anymore. Her cat died. She's estranged from her family, essentially. She doesn't have like any friends. Like, her life is shitty. I don't blame her for choosing her life. You don't need to kind of force this ending of her actually going to like that shitty life of hers. Like, seriously, that just pissed me off, because it's such a cop-out ending, because you spent literally the entire book talking about how shitty her root life is, how much she wants a new life, and then and then she does a complete 180 after being in that last life, where she has a husband and a child, and it's like really stupid, because she's like, oh, I can do good in my root life. When like, yeah, you can also do good in all these other lives that you have, where you have more money, better mental health, and, you know, just better support system. You can also do good things in those lives. And then she's like, no, I want to do good things in my shitty root life, and it just doesn't fucking make sense, and it makes me so angry. And the biggest problem is probably the portrayal of depression was very shallow. I didn't like it at all. it makes it seem so trivial, you know? It makes it seem like it's caused by like being in bad situations. But I get like sometimes it can, but it also like, I don't know how to explain it. It just, there are children in the backyard. I sort of fucking got this family is the loudest fucking family ever, and they always either have children or dogs. It was just so disappointing. I don't even know how to put it into words. It was just disappointing because like it just wasn't explored properly. It wasn't explored what, like, there was literally I think like one chapter where the effects of depression had like, you know, that they were describing it, and it was like, oh yeah, that's actually like decent. But then when she's jumping through the lives, you never see that ever again. Like when she's in the lives, her depression doesn't follow her. Like I know that like it's situational, but shouldn't she still have like, I don't know, like just depression? I was just disappointed in the portrayal of depression because it made it seem very like flimsy, and in the end she just decides to be happy, and then she's happy. And I think it just perpetuates this like really stupid narrative that like, oh, if you just decide to be happy and look on the bright side of things, you won't be depressed anymore, you know? And just be happy. And it just pissed me off so much. I don't really know anything else I want to talk about this book. It was just a bad book. Don't read it. And the writing was not subtle at all. It had the subtlety of like a fucking brick wall. It's just, I tried to like it. I really did. This is one of the books I wanted to like. I bought it for $13 on a Kindle. So of course I wanted to like it. It was just so bad, and I just cannot. Disgusting. It was just so bad. And I'm just so utterly disappointed in it. Okay, next book. This one's a book I actually enjoyed so much. Norwegian Wood. I actually have the physical copy of this book. It's probably my new favorite book. I love this book. It was so good. I love the writing in this book. I know it's translated from Japanese, but I really like how writing is very clear and like blunt, I think. It's very like, how do I explain it? Like it illustrates things very well, but it's a very straightforward and clear language. It's not like very flowery and complicated prose like I would say Vladimir Nabokov's writing is like. But yeah, so his writing is very like clear and like I think succinct. Is that the word? Like it's very easy to understand. And I like that because I think like sometimes if it's overly complicated, you kind of lose a bunch of the possible audience that you're trying to communicate your story to, and it's just not that great. And also I can't understand it, so that's really sad for me. Yeah. So this book is about basically this guy recounting his memory of this girl he was in love with who had like depression, obviously. And it's a very sad story, but it also like kind of gives like hope and stuff. I really liked it because its portrayal of depression is really good and really like accurate, I think. I don't know, like it just seemed like something that was right. It's a very sad book. I'm not saying it's like a really happy book or anything like that. I like the main character, and it does a really good job of portraying depression in the girl Naoko, and he does a really good job at like displaying how like these are like memories that the main character is experiencing, and I think it's really good. I just really like it. I don't really have any specific critiques about it because I just like it. If you like this sort of like depressing kind of like drama-esque book, like the only thing I know how to compare this to is Oyasumi Punpun, which is like a manga, but it has like the same style, I think. It just has like the same style. Or like Pachinko. Like I don't know if anybody has read that, but like that has the same vibe as this too. So I think those two things were good for like whether I want to read this book. I just really like this book. It was the portrayal of like feelings and like just the different characters. All the characters were so well written. Like the main character, you can tell that he doesn't really like himself that much because he always is with other people, and you don't really get to see him outside of his interactions with other people. His character development depends on other people, which is just amazing. I enjoyed it. Yep. My critiques, ladies and gentlemen. So that was pretty much all the books I wanted to talk about. I liked 2 of them. I'm gonna say I did like Crooked Kingdom. I thought it was decent. I thought it was pretty good and I enjoyed it. But and the one thing I did not enjoy was the Midnight Library. That was the one that I really hated. I thought it was the dumbest thing ever and I really regret spending $13 on it. It was not worth it. And I liked Norwegian Wood, obviously. I really love that book. I planned on reading it for so long and I finally got to it over the spring break, so yeah, just finishing up my makeup. So yeah, that was like basically my quick little book review for 3 of the books that I read over the weekend. I think I've rambled on a lot. I'm probably gonna cut this video down by a lot because I feel like I talked about a bunch of random things and it just didn't really matter. So if I had to give rating to each of the books, I'd probably give Crooked Kingdom a 6 out of 10, maybe 6.5, maybe a 7, probably 6. I'd give Midnight Library a solid 4, and then Norwegian Wood probably a 9 or a 10 perhaps. I really like that book. Yeah, like when I like something, I don't have that much to say about it because I just like it, and then when I dislike something, I have a ton of fucking nitpicks things about it. But yeah. Okay, so that is it for my quick little video. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed listening to my ranting about 3 books that I read over the break. I don't know what the title's gonna be because like I do not have any plans for this video. I just think I wanted to make a video and I was like, yep, so I'm just gonna talk about the books I read, and I did. And my basic recommendations is you can read Crooked Kingdom if you are into the YA fantasy genre. I was okay with it, even though I wasn't into that genre, so maybe if you aren't in, just read it for fun. And everyone should read this book. But if you're struggling with like depression or something like that, I recommend you don't, because they have like very vivid scenes of like self-harm or like suicide. That's a warning, I think. So yeah, okay. Nobody read Midnight Library, please. Don't read it. It's disgusting. Okay, so thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you liked it. And yeah, bye-bye.